Hey everyone, Nathan Hale here with Nathan Hale Movies, of course. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really excited to get this show on the road tonight. Want to make sure that everything is working okay.
Really excited.
Oh, there's my voice. Perfect. Okay, leave your comments below if you can hear me. If everything's working okay, can you hear me, guys? Does everything sound okay? I see that we have a few people already tuning in, so thank you for joining. I'm really excited about tonight to rank the 25 movies that I watched from the 1970s. Now, if you are unaware, I started a movie challenge back in February and I expected it. Okay, cool. I'm getting all the comments saying that they can hear me. Thanks, guys. I expected this movie challenge to take me all of 2021 to get through because it was a hefty goal to watch 25 movies from the 70s. And before, when I did this with foreign language films, it took me all year. And even then, I wasn't able to complete it. And so I guess really my only excuse is that I got sucked into the 1970s decade as far as movies go. I watched some really good movies. I watched some movies that I didn't love so much, but tonight's stream is going to be me tier ranking all the movies that I watch. And so I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And my hope is that you guys can leave comments on the movies that I talk about, your thoughts on what movies I watched, as well as, I guess, like your thoughts on where I rank them and whatnot. So first off, I want to say it was a blast to do this challenge. Seriously, just really fun getting acquainted with the 1970s. The whole idea of the 25 movies challenge is to watch 25 movies from a category that you're not as familiar with. And so even later on tonight, when I announce what my next category will be, that will be a category that I'm not as familiar with. And so I'm just excited. It's going to be great. Okay, Bernie says he thought it would take him a whole year. Yeah, so really quickly, guys, after you watch this one, make sure to head over to Bernie's channel, The Movie Geek, because he just posted his 25 movie challenge today. And I still have yet to watch that, Bernie. It's been a busy day, but I have it in my watch later, and I will definitely watch it. So he did Criterion movies, Criterion releases for his 25 movie challenge, which I think is awesome. Thank you so much for binging my videos. I don't know if that's a good thing for you, but I appreciate it, so thank you. Kig is procrastinating. Remind me what your 25 movie challenge is. I'd love to hear. Okay, 123 Rock fan. Been watching a lot of movies from the 30s and 40s. I definitely need to catch up on the 70s. I totally understand. See, I love the 30s and the 40s, and the 70s was a movie decade that, for whatever reason, it was like almost intimidating to me. I didn't like the idea of watching the shaggy hair and the bell bottoms, and I just kind of didn't. I never touched the 70s. Like, there's a recording of me in one of the Criterion Hall pickups that I say that I don't like picking up Criterions from before 1970 because it's just, I don't know. So anyways, now that's completely different. I love the 70s because I watched a lot of good movies, some of which were recommended by you guys. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear that you watched some movies. Carson, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining the live stream. Oh, yes, we're going to hopefully do a Frank Capra video someday. I just want to see a few more movies of his before I rank them. Yeah, so if you're just joining, the way the 25 movie challenge works is you choose 25 movies from a category of film that you're not very familiar with. And so when it came to choosing the 1970s, the reason I selected that decade is because, I mean, obviously I've seen like the really iconic movies such as Star Wars and Alien and movies such as that. But there were a lot of movies on my watch list that were just getting dust, collecting dust, basically, although the watch list is an electronic thing. But you know what I mean? They were collecting dust because they're movies that, yes, it's like, yeah, I'll get to those someday. But it's like, when am I going to get to it? They just keep sitting on the watch list. Why not challenge myself to take some time and actually devote like my movie watching to movies from the 70s? And so I toyed with a few ideas before I chose the 70s. I also toyed with movies in the war genre because I want to watch more movies from that genre, as well as silent films. I toyed with the idea of doing 25 silent films. But later on tonight, I will be revealing which movies that I'll be watching for the next challenge. But okay, Joey says his challenge is for 24 A24 films. That's kind of cool. I like that. So 24 movie challenge, but it works well. I see what you did there. I like that a lot. And so I'm going to, okay, let's see. We have a few more. Okay, Gavin, currently 3 movies in foreign language films. I'm going to knock out a lot with my Criterion channel. 14-day trial I'm going to do next week. Nice, man. That's the way to do it. Knock it out on the free trial. I've done that many of times. Working on 25 French cinema films. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are sharing what 25 movies you're watching. I think that's awesome. I haven't seen Deliverance. Maybe message me on social media later on tonight, and I'd love to hear more about it. Okay, and then 123 Rock Fans challenges watching stop motion animated films. That's great. And then Awkward Actor, he's watched Black Orpheus, Beauty and the Beast, and Black Girl. That is really cool. That's the one who's working on the French cinema films. Of those, I've seen Beauty and the Beast and Black Girl, but I've never seen Black Orpheus. And of the Beauty and the Beast and Black Girl, I prefer Beauty and the Beast. 25 James Bond movies. That's my challenge. I love that, dude. That's a good challenge, honestly. I should do that because I've only seen like the Daniel Craig ones and one of the Sean Connery ones. I have not seen Euphoria, and I don't know if I will watch it. It's not really the kind of TV show I like to watch. I finished mine. It was Oscar-nominated performances. Ooh, well, if you post a movie or a video about it, let me know. Sorry about that. My apologies. That's like in The Office where it's like, you're a gentleman and a scholar. And he gets off the phone and he's like, that was a woman. Anyways. Yes, I have, I believe. But I'll have to look at it. I'm going to get started with the tier ranking because that's what you guys are all here for tonight. So I'm going to share my screen to the tier list. Okay, and we are here. I want to make sure that everything looks okay. You guys can see it all right? Hopefully you can see it all right. So I'm really excited about this, guys. I have the 25 movies that I watched all down here, and I will be tier ranking all of them, of course. But before I do so, I wanted to explain my tiers. And so Perfect, if you're not familiar, is the 10 out of 10 movies, 9 3/4. This is anywhere from 8.5 to, well, 9 3/4. The reason I went with 9 3/4 is because it's a little, homage to Harry Potter, and I love Harry Potter. But also it kind of like presents what I'm trying to say, where it's not quite perfect, but I still really enjoyed it. It's basically the 8.5, 9 out of 10 movies. Great. Those are the 8 out of 10 movies, or 7.5. Good. That's like 6, 7 out of 10. This is more like 5 out of 10, maybe 4.5. And then bad is just like, I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't a good movie. And so now that I've explained the tiers, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I just listed it in alphabetical order, but I'm going to switch things up a little bit. I'm going to do it in reverse alphabetical order. And so if you haven't been following on my Letterboxd page, first off, I want to let you know that as I watch these 25 movies, I keep a Letterboxd list just called 25 Movies, the 1970s. And so I've been updating that list since February, and these are the 25 movies that I watched. And I also want to let you know that I will have a list for my next 25 movies challenge. And so you can keep up to date. I don't think there's anything wrong with me spoiling what movies I'm watching because you guys want to see, what movies I'm watching. You want to keep up to date. The spoiler is how I rank them. And so that's what we're going to be doing tonight. So without further ado, let's get this started. Sorry. Okay, so reverse alphabetical. First one is What's Up, Doc? Got What's Up, Doc from, well, I'm not going to say the movie year for each year because I can't do that off the top of my head. But I thoroughly enjoyed What's Up, Doc. In fact, there's a movie that came as a recommendation, I believe. I don't think I was originally planning on watching it. And so if anyone recommended movies to me, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Because when I went into this challenge, sure, I had like the must-sees. I was like, I'm definitely going to watch these movies because they've been on my watch list forever. But then some movies came recommended to you guys when I was like halfway through the challenge. And I was like, this is great. I love it. And so What Up, Doc was one of those movies that was recommended by you guys, and I really enjoyed it. I'm going to put it in 9 3/4. 123 Rock Fan says, What's Up, Doc is a blast. I totally agree. Ryan O'Neal reminds me of Ryan Reynolds in that film. That's so funny. He is a hoot. Jacob loves What Up, Doc. Love to hear that. And then Is that a Bugs Bunny movie? That's funny you say that. It actually definitely acknowledges Bugs Bunny in the movie. And so that's kind of like the whole point of the "What's Up, Doc?" And then Barbara Streisand is holding a carrot. So just watch the movie. I highly recommend it. Ooh, that's a really impressive power. I can do that with some movies, but not all movies. All I can tell you right now is that What's Up, Doc is What Up, Dog is from the 70s. So next up, Sugarland Express. Now, Sugarland Express was a movie that I watched because I'm trying to get more into Steven Spielberg's filmography, and I was thoroughly surprised by Sugarland Express. This is kind of bad, but I was kind of expecting it not to be the best movie because it was very early on in his career, but I enjoyed it. If you've seen it, you know what it's about. It's two parents trying to claim their child back because they've both been in trouble with the law. And it's them basically holding a police officer hostage and traveling across the country to get to their child who is in foster care. And so, or maybe he's been adopted. I can't remember, but I enjoyed it. I'm putting it in great. So there's that. And then Stalker. Now, Stalker was a big deal for me. I watched that one just last night and I really enjoyed it. If you read my Letterboxd review, you'll see that you can't just put all your thoughts in one little Letterboxd review because it's a movie that has so much to unpack from it. Overall, I really enjoyed Stalker. I'm going to put it in 9 3/4, but I could see it creeping up to that perfect spot in the future with more watches. Okay, so I'm going to quickly look at some of the comments. Okay, we already did that. Is What's Up, Doc a Wilder film, or am I mistaken? It's not a Wilder film. It's by Peter Bogdanovich. I can never say the name. I swear you guys just want me to say the name because I'm so bad at that. Okay, yeah, here we go. Travis loves What's Up, Doc as well. The chase scene all over the streets is so funny. Yes, I absolutely loved the chase scene. It was hilarious. 123 Rock Fam. I watched Stalker with a friend of mine, and I think she assumed I was going to hate it, but I ended up loving it. Glad to hear that you loved it. Okay, and then Bernie says, I'm still working on watching his entire directing work. Really love Sugarland Express. Yes, it was an enjoyable movie for sure. Yeah, Stalker for me was... I said in my review on Letterboxd as well that if a movie doesn't do long shots correctly, it can really lose you. Especially, it can really lose me. I don't love a movie that has a lot of long shots, but Stalker did it right. Every long shot that it had was very warranted because it just got you that much more invested in the movie. So I liked the movie and it didn't feel long at all. It was actually kind of cool because with Stalker, that movie was longer than a James Stewart movie I watched the other night called Flight of the Phoenix. That movie sits at around 2 hours, 20 minutes, whereas Stalker is just like about 10, 15 minutes shy of 3 hours. And Stalker moved along faster than the James Stewart movie. And so that just shows to me that if a movie presents enough curiosity and enough questions in your mind, that it doesn't really matter about the runtime. It can keep you hooked. Sorcerer, this is going to be a movie that I know a lot of people are going to be, kind of disappointed about where I place it, but I'm going to put this in D's. I think mostly because I've seen Wages of Fear originally, and I just prefer Wages of Fear 100% to Sorcerer. The Sorcerer had a lot of, or just Sorcerer, it had a lot of exposition and character building that I just didn't think was necessary. I thought that the way that they present the four men just being involved in transporting the nitroglycerin over to the factory in Wages of Fear, that was perfect. Although with that being said, Wages of Fear has a lot of slow moments at the beginning of the movie. I will say that. Okay, Bernie says Stalker's on the radar and watch list. See, that's the exact same position I was in. It was on my radar. It was on my watch list. And that's why I wanted to do the 1970s, because this is what finally got me to watch it. Jacob says Sugarland Express feels like Spielberg making his version of Bonnie and Clyde. Not his best film, but still admirable. I can respect that. I've never seen Bonnie and Clyde, but I know that, I know the story of it. And I think it's, I can see what you're saying. Okay, so next up I have Serpico. And Serpico is a movie about a cop he's a new cop working with the police enforcement. And basically, as he's working with them, he sees that there are a lot of crooked agents working in the industry. And he's like the only honest one. And it's a Sidney Lumet film. And so that was cool. I've been really watching a lot of Sidney Lumet films lately. I'm kind of torn right now as to whether I put Serpico in good or great. I think right now I'm going to put it in good. It was an enjoyable movie that I liked, but I don't know if it was quite great. It's not like a movie where I'm like, yeah, that was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. It was just a movie that I watched and I was like, this is a good movie. I really enjoyed this. Al Pacino is great in it, of course. So yeah, what's not to like about a movie with Al Pacino at this young age? I mean, I hadn't seen too many movies with Al Pacino at such a young age, and so that's another thing this challenge really helped me with. Fistful reviews. Really am intrigued with Stalker. Want to check it out soon. I highly recommend it, but make sure that you are fully invested when you watch it because there are a lot of long takes, and yeah, it's a movie you have to be prepared for. Gavin says Serpico is awesome. Look at you. Oh my gosh. Is that a reference to Jack and Jill? I've never seen Jack and Jill, but I feel like that's a reference to that. Regarding running times, Lord of the Rings animated film feels longer than the live action films. Completely agree with that, and we will get to that later in the ranking. Got me intrigued with Serpico. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a good movie with directed by Sidney Lumet. If you guys aren't aware, Sidney Lumet did 12 Angry Men and Failsafe, two of it's like some of my favorite movies ever. And so he's really good at building that suspense and that anticipation. Next up, we have Picnic at Hanging Rock, which I actually have the Criterion behind me right here. You probably can't see it, but it's right. Okay, I'm going to give up on trying on that. Sorry, totally getting distracted. Last Picture Show, I just saw a comment in the comments. You should check out Last Picture Show. Yeah, Peter Bogdanovich, right? Whatever, however you say his name. Yeah, it's on my radar. Don't watch Jack and Jill. Was not planning on it. Okay, it was Jack and Jill. Nice. Oh, geez. We just recently watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre the other day. Immediately regretted it because he stayed at his uncle's rent. Yeah, I could see how that'd be horrifying. Just watch it. I might have to watch that because I'm really curious now. Yeah, it's a good movie. Whenever you can. Serpico is a great film. Al Pacino and Lumet are a legendary duo. I completely agree. And you'll see later that I also watched Dog Day Afternoon, part of this challenge. Okay, so Picnic at Hanging Rock. I'm putting this in 9 3/4 because I really enjoyed this. It's a very mesmerizing movie. It's a movie that has a lot going for it. It also is kind of like it's not like super similar to Stalker. In fact, they don't have similar plots at all. But it's similar to Stalker in the sense that it's a slower moving film and it has a lot to unpack when you're watching it. Like for an example, I have to refer to my Letterboxd review because I know that there's a word that I can't think of right now. Visceral, absolute visceral experience where it's just full of mystery, drama, eerie music, and the whole time you're wondering what the conclusion is to the story. But beware, this movie had a lot of critics angry when it came out in the 70s. So anyways, I'll just leave that for you. Yeah, I think that Picnic at Hanging Rock is a movie that, sits exactly at that spot, below Stalker, below What's Up, Doc. Next up, I have Paper Moon, which is also directed by Peter Bogdanovich. Sorry, guys. And I'm going to put that in 9 3/4 under What's Up, Doc, but above Stalker. It was such a funny movie. It's about a father and supposedly his alleged daughter. She claims that he's his daughter, but there's no official evidence. And I don't think they ever identify that she is his official daughter, but it makes sense that she is his daughter. And basically, he runs a scam of Bible selling where he goes door to door and, scams people into buying Bibles to make money off of them. And this girl whose mother has just died joins him in the scheming. And it's just kind of a movie of them on the road selling Bibles dishonestly and the different shenanigans they get themselves involved in. Tatum O'Neal is great in it. In fact, she won an Oscar for her performance in it. And so that's really cool. And Paper Moon was actually a movie that was recommended by you guys. So thank you for recommending it. As you can see, I really enjoyed it. I know we moved on from Serpico, but I died when Pacino was giving that guy a wedgie. LOL. Yeah, it's funny. Paper Moon was excellent. Completely agree. Bogdanovich. That would make sense. Bogdanovich. Luckily, I don't have to say it anymore in the video because I think we've moved past all of his films. Okay, next up we have One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was one of those movies that going into the challenge, I was like, that absolutely has to be on the watch list because I know I've needed to watch it and I just haven't gotten around to it. So I'm putting that in the perfect tier. I have no complaints about the movie. I just really enjoyed it. Jack Nicholson is phenomenal. And the whole entire movie of him being in this insane asylum, this mental institution, really depressing. I didn't, going into it, I wasn't expecting a cheerful movie by any means, or a comedy for that matter, but it was more depressing than I expected it to be. And I really just don't have any complaints. I guess the only downfall to it is that it's not very rewatchable just because of the subject matter. But, that's like saying Schindler's List is a bad movie because it's not rewatchable. And, it's still an amazing movie. You can't deny that. A movie's rewatchability, yes, it might not, it might hurt the movie as far as like my ranking goes, because when I rank movies as far as like my all-time favorite list goes, I keep into consideration the rewatchability factor. But I still have to admit that this movie is perfect. I absolutely love it. Okay, we've got a few comments. We won't spoil anything. By the way, don't spoil anything in the comments. I know 123 Rock Fan, you're not spoiling anything here. So, but just an FYI as courtesy to everyone. If you've seen the movies, definitely comment on them, but no spoilers tonight. I won't be spoiling anything either, but I can see what you mean. Bernie says, beautiful and mesmerizing film. Yes, absolutely. Jacob, I've been meaning to watch Cuckoo's Nest for years. Exactly the same way. It has been on my watch list for years. I don't even know how long. And this challenge really just got me motivated to watch it. Paper Moon is awesome as well. Tatum O'Neal is awesome. Little Con Artist. Yep, absolutely. Rewatch Schindler's List. LOL. Yeah, see, like, you can rewatch it. All I'm saying is that it's not a movie that when you watch it, you're like, well, I'm going to watch that in a month because it's so depressing. But yeah, I plan on rewatching Schindler's List too someday. I saw that somewhere. I saw that listed somewhere. Oh, you scared me. Gavin. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is the only movie I consider perfect. Also, I have extra respect for book adaptations done well. Nice. Good to hear. I think that's really cool that that's the one movie you consider perfect. You and I both, although I don't consider it to be the only movie to be perfect, but on this tier, it is. Cuckoo's Nest is like one of my dad's favorites. Nice. Always love hearing about the parents' favorites in the stream. Always makes me happy. Okay, next up, Network. Now, Network is a movie that I feel like has so much praise to it. And when I watched it, I didn't necessarily I didn't dislike it. I don't even think it's decent. I'm going to put it in good. I'm going to put it right there under Serpico, but still in the good tier, because I think it has a lot of good things to say about society as well as like media in general and the people we follow. And it's cool how this movie made in the 70s is applicable to today as well, as far as like following a public figure and whatnot. But I think that what hurts Network is there's a lot of side plots that I just don't care about at all. I only cared about Peter Finch's plot line, his story, and I wish that the movie only focused on his story, because all the other things that were happening on the side didn't interest me, and it took me out of the film. And so those are my complaints with Network. But let's see if anyone else has said things about Network. Hi, how's it going tonight? Dylan, what's up, man? It's going good. Thanks for joining. Cuckoo's Best gave us the most hilarious meme ever. Cuckoo's Best. Yeah. Tyler, long time no see, man. Good to see you, dude. Thanks for joining the chat. Tyler and I are classmates from high school. It has been at least 6 years now since we graduated high school, which is insane to me to think. Yes, Murder by Death. Yes, glad to see my recommendation. Absolutely, Carson. Yeah, your recommendation made it. I watched it because I was interested in Truman Capote, seeing a movie with him starring in it, because he wrote the Innocents. Is that what it's called? I have the Criterion and I can't think of what number it is. I think it's called The Innocents, and I can't believe I'm blanking on it. It's The Innocents. Anyways, he wrote that movie, and he also wrote Breakfast for Tiffany's, which, yeah, I believe it or not, I haven't seen that movie. But he's interested in me, so Murder by Death interested in me as well. I feel like Network is too over the top for its own good. I could see that. The only thing I know about Network is that, that's Yeah, that's a funny line. Peter Finch's character is just great in it. I believe he won the Oscar posthumously. I can never say that word, but you know, that word where they win the Oscar when they're dead or when they've passed on. And so his story was my favorite arc in it. I went into network with two very expectations off of Lumet High. Solid movie, but can't call it great in my opinion. Yeah, that's the exact way I feel too. I totally see what you mean. Yeah, so great question, Tyler. If you're just now joining the stream, these are all movies. So what I did basically is I chose the whole entire idea of the 25 movie challenge is you choose 25 movies from a category of film that you haven't seen too much, and you devote your movie watching to that. Now, I didn't only watch movies from this category, but it was definitely a focus of mine when it came to watching movies. So for this specific challenge, I focused on movies from the 1970s, the decade of the 70s. And that included movies both on my watch list that had been on my watch list for a long time. It also included movies that came recommended from my viewers. That's good to know. Sugar Bear just dropped in to say that I love your channel. Look forward to every upload. Your Letterboxd reviews are great too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Always appreciate the support. So let's get back to the tier ranking. Murder by Death. I really like Murder by Death. In fact, I wrote a little bit of some notes to make sure that I don't forget to say anything on the live stream. So that's why I keep looking down at my phone. But I'm putting Murder by Death in the great tier above Sugarland Express. It's one of those movies that it's just enjoyable. Like, you can't critique it too hard. It's just a movie that when I watched it, I got everything I wanted out of it. It's a murder whodunit film. You'll see another movie like that on this list, and we'll get to that in a moment. But it's a whodunit film, a mystery, which I've really started to like. I've watched a lot of those this year. And Murder by Death was just really well done. And it has a lot of famous people in it too. So that's pretty cool. Anyone else who has seen Murder by Death, leave your comments on what you think. Carson, wow, I've almost seen 400 movies so far this year. So like some days I dedicate to just movies, almost to 3,000. Wow, that's amazing, Carson. That is really impressive. I think I just watched my 126th movie of the year. All right. So Murder by Death, I really recommend it. And I really enjoyed it too. The Muppet Movie. This is one of those movies that was on my watch list for years, and I had no motivation. I had no incentive to watch it. It's a movie that's like, yeah, I'll watch it someday. But, you know, doing this challenge finally got me motivated to watch it. And if you are familiar with the Muppets, when you've seen one movie, I feel like you've seen them all. That's not necessarily a bad thing either. I mean, I keep coming back to them because I like the movies, but every movie has really funny ongoing gags. Every movie is filled with dry sense of humor jokes, and every movie is filled with celebrity cameos. And to see the first ever Muppet movie created was just really enjoyable. I'm going to put it in great above Sugarland Express, but below Murder by Death. Okay. Next up, we have the Lord of the Rings animated film, and that is the first movie to join the tier bad. I just did not enjoy this movie. If you watch my 24-hour movie marathon video, great. I talked about Lord of the Rings in that video. If you haven't watched it, then make sure to give it a watch. But the hard thing with this movie is that they cram two of the first two books into one movie. And on top of that, that's not necessarily a complaint, actually. That's not the bad thing about it. The bad thing about it is that the animation is so outdated, and it's almost creepy. It's laughable and it's creepy to watch. And also when I'm watching it, I know the story so well that the only thing I was thinking while watching the animated version was, I want to watch the Peter Jackson movie. Like, come on, give me the Peter Jackson version, please. This is hard to watch. And then they also did this weird gimmick where they combine like live action silhouettes into the animation. It was just not good. I did not like it that much. And I'm not gonna lie. I thought like maybe I should put it in the D's, but no, like there's not too much I liked about it, and I don't think I'll ever watch it again either. So let's look at some of the comments. Bernie, love Network, but hey, respect your opinion. The ending did shake me, but love the performances throughout. Yep, I can respect that. Kind of a random question. Have you heard of Deep Focus Lens? She reviews a lot of classic films. I don't think I have, but message me on social media tonight, and I will look into that. Thank you for the recommendation. Just because I might forget it while I'm on the live stream. Love a good whodunit, so I'll add it to my list. Maisie, good to see you in the stream. Yeah, it's really good, and there's an even better one coming up really shortly. Muppet movie is literally one of my all-time faves. So glad to hear that, Jacob. I can see why it's hilarious. Muppets, that's a reference to the 2011 film. Muppets gets points for just for being nostalgic. Totally get that. In fact, my little sister and I were going through all the Muppets movies. A lot of them are rewatches for me, but I haven't seen them since I was like 5 or 6 years old. So it's basically like a first-time watch. But we're on Muppets Christmas Carol, and I'm really excited to watch that movie because I feel like it's just going to be really nostalgic. The famous cameo at the end of the Muppet movie made me laugh so hard. I think I know who you're talking about. I spoiled it in my What I Watch video. It's not that big of a deal. I feel like spoiling a Muppets movie isn't that big of a deal, so I'm going to spoil it. But Orson Welles, that's who you're talking about. I think that's who you're talking about, and I loved Orson Welles in it. Glad to hear that you like the Muppets. I mean, you can't go wrong with them, right? What they did to Samwise Gamgee in the animated film was criminal. Yeah, it was horrifying. John Hurt, I mean, yeah, it's just not a very good movie to me. But who am I as someone who has yet to read or see any Lord of the Rings? Wow. Yeah, no, that's crazy. I haven't read the movies, I haven't read the books, but I've definitely seen all the movies, the Peter Jackson ones. John Hurt as Aragorn was one of the few things I liked in the animated Lord of the Rings film. Yeah, it didn't really stand out to me too much. Bro, I completely forgot that was a reference to the 2011 film. I was just being stupid. That's so funny. You're referencing movies and you don't even realize it. That's when you know you're a true moviegoer. Okay, next up, we have The Last of Sheila, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And if Carson Bates is still in the chat tonight, Cinema Bates, then he is the one who recommended it to me. And I know that from my heart because he has been recommending this movie to me for more than a year, maybe even 2 years. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm going to put it below Stalker and... No, you know what? I'm actually going to put it above Stalker and below Paper Moon. Because Stalker to me is a great movie, don't get me wrong, but it's just so heavy that it's not one that I want to revisit anytime soon. But I'm really glad I've seen it, and it still stays on the 9 3/4 tier. But Last of Sheila was a movie that, once again, this is a whodunit movie. I was saying that there's a whodunit later on this list. This is that second whodunit, and I liked it even more than Murder by Death because Last of Sheila really got me thinking. With the scenes in it and the plot details and the little, hints here and there, I just think the whole thing is portrayed really well. And fun fact, it was written by Anthony Perkins, the star who plays Norman Bates in Psycho. So that's just a fun little fact and kind of cool to me. But I was just really satisfied with the movie. And it was one that got me thinking so much that I actually rewatched parts of the movie when it ended because I wanted to make sure that everything lined up and everything clicked. And so Last of Sheila is a movie that, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't even have a Blu-ray release. I don't even think it has a Blu-ray release. Carson would know best. Let me know if it does, but it doesn't even have a Blu-ray release. So I'd love to see it get a Blu-ray release, especially a Criterion release. I think that is plenty worthy to get a Criterion release. So I'd love to see that happen. But yeah, I loved The Last of Sheila so much and highly recommend you guys all watch it. In fact, I would almost recommend that more than like movies I have ranked higher, only because Last of Sheila is just so underrated. It's just like no one knows about it. I didn't even know about it until Carson recommended it. So, okay. James asks a quick question. How are you watching these movies? Physical, digital, streaming, etc.? I'm mostly watching Blu-rays. That's a great question. So a big way I watch my movies is, first off, I see if they're available at the local library. And if they are, I utilize the library like crazy. To me, that is a great way to get movies for cheap because it's kind of give or take. I've lived in library districts where it's completely free to get a library card. I'm currently living in one where I had to pay $25 for like a 6-month membership, which is kind of annoying. But I figure that if I'm watching enough movies, then I'm getting my money's worth because I would have been renting them online anyways. So first off, the library. Then I have the app that's called Just Watch, which is an amazing app that you can look up a movie and it tells you all the streaming services that the movies are playing. Sometimes it's wrong, but for the most part, it is very accurate. So I highly recommend using that app. And then if it's not at the library or not on any streaming sites, I will rent it. And if it's not available to rent, you have to get a little creative. Sometimes websites, like there's some Billy Wilder films I'm trying to watch before his birthday that it's super, it's like $20 to buy the Blu-ray, which I don't want to do on a blind watch with a movie that I don't know I'll love. Take that with a grain of salt, because I sometimes do that with like a lot of Criterions, but take that with a grain of salt. And so like I found the whole movie on YouTube. And so like it's little things like that where you just have to get creative. But I don't pirate movies. I try my best to not pirate movies. I'll rent a movie before I pirate a movie is what I'm saying. And even with that, I don't pirate movies. I try to buy it even before pirating. Let's stop talking about that. Anyways, Carson, thanks for giving The Last of Sheila another moment in the spotlight. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, absolutely. Really enjoyed it. And once again, highly recommend it. Got to go. Hope you put Dog Day Afternoon in the perfect category. LOL. Yeah, you'll just have to watch the recording, man. You'll just have to catch it up later. And then he better. Oh, my man, now I'm getting nervous. Yeah, no Blu-ray release, but hopefully it can get a release someday. Okay, next up we have Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which I was, it was good enough. Nothing too fun. It was really campy, just kind of a cheesy film from the 70s. But Donald Sutherland's in it and Jeff Goldblum, so that's cool. I'm going to put it in good, above Network, but below Serpico. Frenzy, me, Mr. Hitchcock, I have all these Alfred Hitchcock things even behind me right now as I speak, my Alfred Hitchcock shelf. Can you even see that? Yeah, my Alfred Hitchcock shelf. For how much I love Alfred Hitchcock, I did not love Frenzy. In fact, had some good moments, but for the most part, it wasn't really my kind of movie. I am going to put it in Dees, below Sorcerer, mostly because it didn't feel like a Hitchcock film for three reasons, really. One, it was filmed in the 1970s, and that's not a fault of Hitchcock. That's mostly just because this was the first 70s Hitchcock film I've ever seen. I've never seen Family Plot yet. And so, first off, it just felt weird that it was Hitchcock. Two, it doesn't have any big names. My friend Jackson and I were talking about that just the other night, how because it doesn't have any big names, it feels weird because normally Hitchcock is enlisting all the big actors at the time. And three, it's just his most mature movies released. And so I don't know that I was a big fan of seeing a Hitchcock film that was so mature. So it goes in Dees, under Sorcerer. Okay. A few comments to catch up on. It's okay to blind buy Criterions, though. Almost always works out. LOL. I completely agree. That's what I was trying to say. I refused to pirate a movie. Tried it once, and it gave my laptop a virus. Yep, exactly. It's crazy how many Criterion films are on YouTube. It's awesome. Yeah, that's so true. I don't know if you guys have ever really looked into it, but there are a lot of movies available. Haven't seen the 1978 Body Snatchers, but I've seen the 50s one and dug it. Yeah, I'm sure that they're the exact same movie, but the 70s one has more, blood or whatever because it's a newer movie, so they can do that. Haven't seen Frenzy yet. Just watched Lifeboat the other day, though, and that was really good. Yes, I own Lifeboat. It's on the Alfred Hitchcock shelf, and I really liked it as well. Very underrated Hitchcock. Hey, yeah, got some love for Jacob Martin. Body Snatchers is actually on my list, but I want to watch the 56 version first. That's fair. I also want to get to that version eventually, but for the 70s challenge, I was like, let's talk this out. Please watch The Right Stuff 1983. Message me on social media and let me know so that I don't forget. Okay, so next up we have The French Connection, which was the movie that unfortunately I also didn't love. It's a Best Picture winner and everything, and I just didn't love it. I'm going to put it in Dees, above Frenzy, but below Sorcerer. It has a cool car chase scene, and I think that's really what it's best well known for, but everything else, like, I don't know. I just didn't like it. Okay, Dog Day Afternoon. We have a few people who are hoping that I put this in the perfect tier, and I hope that I don't, disappoint you too much, but I'm putting it in the great tier, at the top of the great tier. And the great tier isn't bad by any means. This is still the 8 out of 10s. Really, I could arguably put Dog Day Afternoon in the 9 3/4 because I'm going to put Dog Day Afternoon actually in the 9 3/4. Yeah, I'm going to put it at the bottom of that tier because I would say Dog Day Afternoon is an 8.5 out of 10, and that belongs more in the 9 3/4 tier than it does in the great tier. So we're putting that there. It's just a really enjoyable movie, one that went a different direction than I was expecting. It's a robbery film where they Al Pacino's character and the supporting actor that died from cancer. Let me quickly look at his name. He was in like so many Best Picture nominees. His name is John Cazale. John Cazale? Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, him and Al Pacino, they rob a bank, and everything that could go wrong goes wrong. But the thing is, Sidney Lumet almost makes a lot of things like comedic as you're watching it. So it was really funny. I wasn't expecting to laugh as much as I did. The way I describe this movie is the first half is a comedy, the last half is a complete drama, and I really enjoyed it. So, okay, we got some conversations going. Frenzy is mid-tier Hitchcock. It doesn't feel quite like one of his movies, but it's one of his last great movies. That's fair because I hear that family plot isn't anything too special and that he kind of like goes downhill. So that's fair. Maybe I'll like Frenzy more when I've seen his movies from that era. I love Blind Buy on Criterion's 99%. I love the film. I blind buy on Criterion's. And the great thing is if you don't love it, you can sell it and make all your money back. That's the hilarious thing about Criterion's. I'll never pirate a film. Completely agree. Man Bites Dog. Recommendation for everybody. You heard him. You heard Michael. Watch Man Bites Dog, Michael. Send that to me on Instagram or Twitter, and I will add it to my movie recommendations list. Quick side note, word from our sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. This isn't a word from a sponsor at all. I wanted to quickly say I have not discontinued my Ranking Your Movie Recommendations video series. I haven't released an episode, I think, since November or around that time, but I'm still very much aware of that series, and I still love doing that series. I love getting your guys' recommendations. So I will still be posting videos. And so what I'm getting at is keep recommending movies to me. I don't just like disregard them. I love getting recommendations. So send them all to me on social media or on Letterboxd. Okay, let's get back to this ranking. All right, let's get back to this. Next up, we have The Deer Hunter. And I'm going to put The Deer Hunter in 9 3/4 above Stalker. Or is it above Last of Sheila? That's so hard. Okay, here's the hard thing. The Deer Hunter is a very heavy movie. Not heavy in the sense that Stalker is, where it just gives you a lot of information and you have so many thoughts when you're watching it, but heavy as in there are horrifying scenes and it's overall just like a really sad movie as well. And so that's where like my predicament is with Deer Hunter. It's like, do I go with the movie that critically I think is a better movie, or do I go with the movie that I think is personally my favorite more? I'm going to stick with my personal thoughts. I've always been one to go with my gut more than what the critics say. So I'm going to leave Deer Hunter there, but it is absolutely a great movie. Could really be on this perfect tier, but just for, I don't want to contradict myself because I was going to say that Deer Hunter is a very heavy movie, but so is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I think I'm just more bound to rewatch Cuckoo's Nest before I rewatch Deer Hunter. And plus Deer Hunter is a very long movie. But I'm sure we're going to get a few comments on what's going on right now. So I'm going to let's review some comments here. Okay. We got a really cheesy joke from Gavin. The only movies I like to pirate are Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Everyone, give him a moment of silence. That doesn't even deserve a laugh. Come on, Gavin, you're better than that. Dog Day, top 50 of mine. Nice, man. Fredo, yes, that's him. Hey, Nate. Hey, Mitchell. Good to see you, man. Kind of felt the same about French Connection as well. Solid crime thriller, but a bit of a letdown as a classic. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. And I have no idea what this means. Mama's Little Baby loves shortening bread. This is like code. Nathan commented these kind of things on the last live stream too, and I don't know what they mean. I love and respect The Deer Hunter, but that extended first hour was torture. Yeah, the first hour is a lot of character building, and you're really just seeing what's happening in these people's lives. And then it just throws you in the middle of Vietnam War, and it's absolutely insane. Dog Day is so great, but unexpected comedy pushed it up another level for me. Yeah, exactly. It's like a really funny movie, and you're not expecting that. At least I wasn't. Deer Hunter's on my watch list, and I have it on Blu-ray like it's waiting for me to watch it. Yeah, exactly. It's collecting dust, man. You got to watch it. That's how a lot of these movies were. Deer Hunter was one of those movies that going into this challenge, I told myself, yes, I can finally watch The Deer Hunter, so that's great. Wow, Terry Gilliam doesn't get any love anymore. Is that because I didn't watch a movie of his? Terry Gilliam. I know that there are a few movies I was thinking about watching from him, but I don't think I got to them. So elaborate on that comment, please. I've made so many dad jokes this weekend. They are starting to burn out. Yeah, they are, man. I love the themes of Deer Hunter more than its actual story. Love discussing it, but probably wouldn't watch it again. I think that's a really good analysis of the movie. The only reason I would watch it again is because every few years I forget why I love a movie, and I want to rewatch it to see if it still holds up. It's the same reason that I want to rewatch Anatomy of a Murder, because I remember When I watched that movie, I liked it, but I thought it was really long. So I want to see if like my more mature mind watches it and is more forgiving to the long run time. I don't know. Michael just got Deer Hunter on 4K. The question is, have you seen it, Michael? It's a really sad movie. Okay, let's move on. The French Connection. It's really sad because these movies with Gene Wilder, that's his name, right? Is the guy's name Gene Wilder? I'm going to check. Gene Hackman. Gene Wilder, that's Willy Wonka. I'm sorry. Gene Hackman. They just didn't really sit well with me. It's kind of sad, but you know, I don't love them as much as I thought I would. The Conversation was a movie that I did like more than The French Connection, and I'm going to put it in good, above Network, below Invasion of the Body Snatchers, because that's exactly what it was. I don't think it's a bad movie, but it wasn't a movie that was screaming to me or anything. Like I didn't love it. It was good. It was good. Really, the way I'm describing it, it should be more of a Dees movie. I don't even know. I'll just keep it in good. It might be Dees. It might change. Okay, how many Best Picture winners do you have on this ranking? Let's see. Let's just count right now. 1, 2, 3, and then none of the 3 Best Picture winners, I believe. Let me know if I missed one, but none of the other ones are Best Picture winners. So we got more Best Picture nominees, but as far as winners, only One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Deer Hunter, and The French Connection are the Best Picture winners. Okay. Gene Hackman, thank you so much. Yeah. Dad joke, why did the segment cross the road to avoid the intersection? We are moving on. I'm watching Deer Hunter tomorrow. Gosh, yeah, let me know what you think of it. Just reach out to me on social media. Funny enough, Gene Wilder and Gene Hackman were both in Bonnie and Clyde. Nice. That's funny. Funny how that works out. No, we need less of these dad jokes. I enjoy the conversation and respect what it was trying to say, but wasn't a fan of the pacing. I feel the same way. I feel the exact same way. Random question, how many movies do you own on Blu-ray/DVD that you haven't watched yet? I definitely couldn't give you just a number off the top of my head, but I tried to watch everything I own. There was one point when I owned less Criterions that I was like 2 or 3 movies away from being able to say that I've seen all the movies in my collection. But then I went on a buying spree, and there's a lot I haven't seen now. So I couldn't tell you. There's probably about 40%, 30% of the collection I have not seen, maybe more. Didn't get the Trainspotting reference yet. I haven't seen Trainspotting, sorry. Dog Day Afternoon, more like Cat Night Evening. Okay. I'm going to stop with these dang jokes. Next up, let's move on to the next rating, or the next movie we're ranking. It's Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and I'm putting it in Dees at the very bottom of the tier, though, because this is a movie that I know what it's doing. It's exactly like Mary Poppins, and it's a cute family film. If I grew up with it, I think I would have liked it a lot more, maybe even put it in like the great tier, something like that. But because I was seeing it for the first time as a 24-year-old, and I don't know, it just didn't resonate with me. It's kind of like the same way I feel towards Space Jam. I saw that movie for the first time when I was in high school, and I thought it was a really stupid movie. Whereas if I saw it as a kid, I probably would have really liked it. So Bedknobs and Broomsticks, it's decent. Nothing too amazing, though. Next up, we have The Bad News Bears, which I'm going to put above Invasion of the Body Snatchers and below Serpico. This was a good movie, just as I stated with the tier. And this was a movie that came recommended by you guys. I had no intentions on watching this film, but found it at my local library, and it has Tatum O'Neal in it, which, if you remember, is the one who stars in Paper Moon. And so I wanted to give it a try. Plus, it has Walter Matthau, and he's a really good actor. So wanted to give it a try. And the first hour and 10 minutes or so, it's exactly what I was expecting it to be, where, this has-been coach joins the sports team to try to build up the sports players so that they can be the great winning team. But it takes a turn that I think was very suitable for this movie. It made the movie more enjoyable to me. Otherwise, it would have probably landed in the D's tier because it wasn't anything new. But because they went the directions they went in, it was better than I thought it would be. Do you mean that it doesn't have the same charm as Mary Poppins? Yeah, but I also mean that I think it's kind of a ripoff of Mary Poppins because it was made after Mary Poppins and it feels like Mary Poppins, where it's, combining the live action with the animation. Then there's, some main children actors in it. It just feels like Mary Poppins, and I prefer Mary Poppins to it. I, it, that's probably right. Also, I think Mary Poppins does have more charm, but I think Bedknobs and Broomsticks definitely still did have some good to it. What's my opinion on Justin Bieber? That's so random. There's a song or there's like, I mean, I I don't necessarily like him. When it's Christmas time, I'll listen to the Mistletoe song. And there's a song or two of his that I like. I like I Don't Care by him and Ed Sheeran, but it's kind of one of those songs that's been overplayed. But him as a person, I think he's kind of just very arrogant and kind of has a really big head. I never grew up with Bedknobs and Broomsticks and never watched it until I was a teenager and still love it. I'm just a sucker for classic Disney and Sherman Brothers songs. That totally makes sense. I wish that I liked Bedknobs more than I did, but I was watching with my roommate in college and both of us were just like constantly pausing it to check the runtime. I think it was just way too long. And that's even a thing that, sorry, I just saw a comment from Jack, freaking Jack. As a thing that even Mary Poppins, I think, suffers from is a very long runtime. Gonna give a shout out to my friend Jack Lasonder. It says William Lasonder, but don't let him fool you. This is my best friend from high school, and it's just, hi Jack. Hi Jack. Bad News Bears didn't age well, but it's awesome. What's your opinion on airplane food? If this is a punchline for a dad joke, I'm not answering. Can you do another movie tower challenge video, please? Oh my gosh, this is a true fan right here. I did that movie tower challenge back in high school, and it's not even on this channel. It's on my Cinema Server channel. Yeah, no, I don't have any plans to do that challenge anytime soon. But thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate that reference to my old channel. Cuckoo's Nest is one of my favorites. Deservedly so. It's a great movie. Hello, who dis? Nick, what's up? Thanks for joining the chat, man. I thought I was your best friend. What the heck, Seth? I didn't know you in high school. You're my best friend from college, dude. This Jack guy doesn't sound that charming to me. Yo, Josh, all my friends from high school are popping up in the chat. This is great. So William Lasonder, this clever guy who's talking about Chicken Run, we were all in a Cinderella play, and he played Prince Charming, and Josh played the other Prince Charming. We had two different casts. It wasn't an understudy or anything. It was two casts, and they both played the same part. And we have both Prince Charmings in the chat right now. I'm sure you're dying to hear who I played. I played Lionel, I think his name is. Yeah, it's Lionel. He's not in the Disney movie, but he's in the Rodgers and Hammerstein's version. And he sings this really awful song called The Prince is Giving a Ball. If you want to torture yourself, look it up on YouTube. Hated singing it, hated practicing for it, but looking back on it, the play was hilarious. The play was like a great memory. And I was saying hilarious because it was hilarious to act out that part. There's one part where I'm singing my musical number and I'm juggling oranges, but I don't know how to juggle. So I just have two fake oranges and I'm just throwing them back and forth because I don't know how to juggle. That movie tower video is legendary. True fan right there. Cinema Surfer Good Days. Jackson's going to be mad. Jackson was in that same Cinderella play, and he played the ugly stepsister. So we are having a Cinderella reunion here. And then we have, wow, Josh and Jack going back and forth. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang has a long runtime, just like Mary Poppins and Bedknobs and Broomsticks. That's true. I haven't seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang in years. I need to rewatch it. Okay, Nate, where's LaQuisha? It should be on here. That is the epitome of cinema. Sorry, man, wasn't made in the 70s, but if it was, it would be in the perfect tier. Why did you delete your first 24-hour movie marathon video on your Cinema Server channel? Because it is cringy as heck. It's so bad. I just like talk and talk and talk. It's not what I like to present myself as on YouTube. Like on these live streams, it's okay to talk because we're chatting with each other, we're communicating. But in that 24-hour movie marathon, I just talk endlessly and it's so boring. And also, I'm a complete monster when it comes to eating. I eat only corn dogs and root beer and the occasional carrot. And then it's so stupid. It's so dumb. And then I pity myself for a good 10 minutes about how mad I am that I fall asleep in it. It's just really cringy and I'm not a big fan of it. I'm going to go back to the ranking. It's been a minute since I've ranked a video of a movie here. So let's go back to the ranking. We have Autumn Sonata, which is a movie directed by Ingmar Bergman, and it has been on my radar for a long, long time, just like a lot of these 70s movies, and I loved it. I'm putting it in 9.75, below Paper Moon. Do I feel good about that? Yeah, I feel good about that. I'm going to get below Paper Moon. Autumn Sonata is a movie I really appreciated for the performances. I got to look at the... So Ingrid Bergman is the star of it. Ingrid Bergman and Ingmar Bergman, great team up. But also Liv Ullmann is in it. Ingrid Bergman plays the mother, and Liv plays the daughter. And it's basically them reuniting after several years apart and just kind of talking about life, where it's brought them, reflecting on the past, reflecting on some trauma that happened in the past. And it's amazing. Like, best performance I've seen from Ingrid Bergman, one of the best performances I've ever seen from Ingrid Bergman. Like from any actress. And then Liv Ullmann is also great. So it definitely deserves a high spot on the ranking. What is this movie even called, guys? It's called Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Gosh, should I put this in the perfect tier or the bad tier? You know what I mean? Like, if you're watching it, if you're ranking it as far as like a bad movie, it's perfect. It's so bad, but that's why it's so good. But as far as like movies go in general, it's a bad movie. But that's what I love about it so much. I'm still going to put it in the bad tier, but with the caveat that I loved it so much. It beats Lord of the Rings because I genuinely didn't like that tier or that movie. Whereas Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, you know what? Forget it. I'm putting it in Dece because it's got to get some credit. I do enjoy it just because of how awful it is. Okay, let's look at some comments. By the way, hello to everyone in the chat. Much love. Thanks for supporting my man, Nate. Hey, Nick, thank you for the shout out. Finally watched Cuckoo's Nest, About Time. Such a great film. Yeah, dude. I absolutely love it. Yeah, can't say anything more. It's amazing. Tatum O'Neal was the young actress that was in Paper Moon and became the first child actress to win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. Yes. Is the Autumn Sonata movie, the movie When Everything Is Red? I don't think so, but maybe. I don't know about that. Jack, you should watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Alien if you haven't yet, my two favorite 70s movies. Thank you so much for the recommendation, dude. So, I've seen both of those movies. Close Encounters of the Third Kind is a movie that I didn't enjoy on the first watch, and I haven't seen it since. And so it's on this list of movies that I need to rewatch to get an updated opinion. Another movie on that list is 2001: A Space Odyssey because I didn't enjoy that movie too much either. And so that's a movie that I recognize is loved by many, and I need to rewatch it because I just wasn't in the right mindset, I guess, when I watched it. But I will be rewatching that this year, dude. And Alien, absolute masterpiece. If I did make a top 10 70s ranking list with all the 70s films I've seen, Alien would no doubt be in that ranking. Jack, what are your thoughts on Aliens? Because I liked it too, but I like Alien more. Is the show Ratchet any good? The trailer for the show didn't look too good. I don't even know what that is. I thought you loved the creepy Lord of the Rings. Dude, I wanted to love it. I wanted it to be just like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, where it's so bad it's good, but it was just bad. 80s movie marathon, please. That is a great recommendation, and I appreciate that. The thing is, I've seen a lot of movies from the 80s, and I don't shy away from the 80s like I did with the 70s. So, like, I don't know if that'll be coming anytime soon, but at least for a 25-movie challenge, maybe someday I'll just do a marathon where I watch all these movies that are on my watch list for the 80s. Close Encounters is a movie which gets better from each viewing. Good to hear. I'm really hopeful and optimistic about my rewatch. Michael says 2001 is great, just bad pacing. Yeah, so my story with 2001, really quick story. I hope I don't lose viewers because I'll get back to the ranking, I promise. My story with 2001 is I watched it in high school. I think I was like a freshman. Maybe I even watched it in 8th grade. And I started it like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock at night, which at that time was really, like, that was late for me at that time. But I remember just watching it and I'm like, why is this movie so good to so many people? There are so many long shots. But now that I've gained some appreciation from some Tarkovsky films such as Solaris and now Stalker, I'm hoping that I can endure the long shots a little bit more and appreciate them more. So anyways, That's my history with 2001. But for now, it's just a movie that I remember not liking at all. So that's why I need to rewatch it. Jack says, been a while since I've seen either, but I remember loving both pretty equally. Alien and Aliens. That's fair. Yeah, I like Alien more, but Aliens is great. Alien to me is perfect, and I'd put Aliens in 93/4. Absolutely not. Maybe when I hit 5,000 subscribers, I will release the 24-hour movie marathon. So tell all your friends about me. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers. Movies to rewatch for an updated opinion is a great idea. It might be my next top 25 list. Okay, so funny you say that because I was thinking about doing that for my next challenge as well. The movies that you need to rewatch to see if you still like them. But I'm kind of torn because it's like the whole focus of 25 movies challenge is to watch movies for the first time. And so that's defeating the purpose, but at least it's like a good reason that you're rewatching movies. I ultimately decided not to do it for a challenge because I'm coming out with a new series. You guys get to hear it first here. That is going to be called Is This Movie Better on a Rewatch? And it's focusing on those movies that you want a better opinion on. Exactly what I was saying with Close Encounters and 2001. So that's why I'm not going to focus on it for a 25 movie challenge, but maybe at a future date. Lord of the Rings creepy. Yes, the animated version is so creepy. It's so weird. Have you seen any Cronenberg films? I loved his film, Videodrome. No, I haven't. And from what I know about him, like his filmography, I don't know that he'd be my kind of director that I want to watch movies from. I don't know him as a person, but his movies, I don't know if they'd be up my alley. Opinion on the 2014 Oscars. I love your random questions time, Mitchell. I'm mad that Birdman won because I prefer Boyhood over it any day. The corn dog cut. That's funny. I don't like root beer that much. After half a can, I feel sick. I love root beer. Nate's Oscars throwback series. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Okay, anyways, let's rank these last two movies, everyone. We have two more movies for the 25 movie challenge, the first episode. Okay, so we are at American Graffiti, which was one of the first movies that I watched for this challenge. And it was one that I wanted to watch going into the challenge. Absolutely. It was like, all right, if I challenge myself to watch 70s films, I have to watch American Graffiti because I've heard about it for my whole life, basically. And it ended up being a great movie. I'm putting it below Sugarland Express. It's just a fun movie with a lot of good music. That's the reason to love the movie to me. But also, I think I said this in my Letterboxd review. I think I would have liked American Graffiti more had I watched it in high school because it's about a bunch of kids graduating high school and they're about to go to college. But I watched it in my last semester of college. So, I mean, I guess it could kind of apply to me now that I'm finished with college. What do I do now? Well, I go to grad school, but you guys know what I mean. Anyways, we are at the last movie. And I loved All the President's Men. I loved it so much. And the cool thing about this movie is I wasn't going to watch it for this challenge. It was a thing where it's like, I've heard a lot of good things about this movie, but I'd rather watch other movies instead from the 70s. But then the ultimate decider for me in choosing to watch All the President's Men was that, Nathan, if you don't watch it for this challenge, when are you going to watch it? And so I watched it, exceeding my expectations like crazy. I'm not even joking, guys. I liked it more than One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It is perfect to me. At least, maybe it's the hype because I literally just watched it today. But hear me out. It was just constantly good from beginning to end. And I can't think of anything I disliked about it. It reminded me of Spotlight, which was a great Best Picture winner from last decade. And what my Letterboxd review, I'm just going to repeat it here. It made journalism look as exciting of a career as Raiders of the Lost Ark made archaeology look. And so it was just intense and it was thrilling, suspenseful, and shady. And Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman both gave amazing performances. So let me look at some comments and then I will reveal the next challenge that I will be doing. So I'm going to quickly stop sharing and just get ready for the next one. Just give me one moment here. Okay, we are sharing that, but we will go back to that in just a second. So I'm going to read some of your comments, guys. First off, comment your thoughts right now on my ranking. What you see on the tier list. Oh, sorry, I'm not even sharing the tier list anymore. Gosh, should have thought that through. what you're seeing on this ranking, on this tier, is also my ranking for it. And so this is how I would rate each movie. Give me your thoughts on each movie. But while you comment that, I will read your comments. Okay, so we need a Criterion Shopping video without that weird guy who always cracks jokes about Stell. I hate that guy. He's just so weird. Nick, yeah, that guy's the worst. 86 Academy Awards. Boyhood was so good, but the actor for Mason seems pretty man when he gets older. That's fair. Have you seen The Sting? I just recently watched it for the first time and I absolutely loved it. So, it's funny that you asked about The Sting because just wait for it. Just wait for it. I just checked it out. Oh, I just checked it out from the library. I have seen it, but it's going to be one of those movies that is featured in that rewatch series because I don't remember a thing from it. Same with All About Eve. I recently rewatched All About Eve, and going into it, you might as well should have called it a first-time watch because I didn't remember anything. The Sting, I don't remember anything from this movie, and so I'm excited to watch it basically for the first time. Might even watch it tonight. American Graffiti has some of George Lucas's least cringy dialogue. Fair enough. Always wanted to see All the President's Men. Yes, same. And it's always intrigued me. And I'm like, if I don't watch it now, when am I going to watch it? Put off American Graffiti far too long. Got to get around to it. Got to do a 25-movie challenge, man. All the President's Men is so good. Didn't expect much going in, but I loved it. Yes. So glad to hear that, dude. If you haven't seen All the President's Men, it's about two journalists uncovering details about the Watergate scandal with Nixon. And it's a thriller. It's so great. What's your opinion on this year's Oscars? I'm going to point you in the direction of my video. It's a pretty newer video, so just go to my recently uploaded videos. It's called The Oscars, a Joke. Watch that video. Has anyone seen George Lucas's THX 1138? And if so, is it any good? I haven't, but I'm interested in it. Love the cringy dialogue in episode 3. It makes the movie iconic. Fair enough. American Graffiti is a fave. Found the soundtrack on vinyl the other day. That is a great movie to have on vinyl, I feel like. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Maisie, you're making me want to get it on vinyl. I just bought President's Man. I can't wait to watch it. Yeah, it's amazing. Great ranking. Thank you so much. I like Stan very much. French Connection's my favorite of these movies. Nice. I'm sorry that it is so low for me, but I'm glad you like it. Zodiac is a better version of All the President's Men. Okay, cool. Good to hear, Jack. Zodiac is one of those movies that in my series, ranking your movie recommendations, that is a recommendation that I've gotten from so many viewers, and I really need to watch it because it's been on the watch list forever, and there's no reason not to watch it, right? Like, it's a David Fincher film, and he's made some great movies, and it has Robert Downey Jr. and Jake Gyllenhaal, and there's another big actor that I can't think of right now. But yeah, like, I just need to watch it. There's quite a few snubs in your ranking, but as of now, my favorite is The Muppet Movie. Nice. Thank you so much. When you say quite a few snubs, do you mean just like disagreeing with the ranking? That's totally fine. Just want to make sure I understand. Would Halloween be in the Playfix tier? No, it wouldn't. I'd put Halloween in the great tier. I recognize it as a classic, but it's just not my kind of movie, but I still enjoyed it when I watched it. The Sting blew my expectations out of the water. Just a great, fun movie. Yes, okay, I'm so excited to rewatch it then because, yeah, that's exactly what I'm hoping. And plus, like, high-key, really like Robert Redford in All the President's Men. I've never seen him in a young role. And so The Sting, I'm excited to watch that movie, rewatch it. Nathan, have you ever seen David Lynch's Twin Peaks? I love it so much. No, but it gets recommended to me so much. I need to watch it. All the President's Men looks very good, and I hear the Jason guy meant to be very good in that movie. Hear the Jason guy meant to be very good in that movie. It was very good. I'm not quite sure I know who you're talking about. Fun fact about All the President's Men, it has two actors from 12 Angry Men. So watch the movie. Let me know if you know who it is. I know who it is, but yeah. Anyways. Jacob has seen THX 113A. Thought it was meh personally, but most seem to like it. Zodiac is top 3 Fincher. Nice. Okay, guys, I'm going to read a few more comments, then I'm going to reveal my next 25 movie challenge. Gotta try Slapshot. Very raunchy and funny sports comedy directed by George Roy Hill starring Paul Newman. I'm not a huge fan of raunchy, but just message me on social media and I will look it up later. Zodiac is Fincher's best. I can't agree yet because I haven't seen it, but for me, Social Network by far is his best. Mark Ruffalo is the other. Mark Ruffalo, thank you, Mark Ruffalo. The other actor in Zodiac, Hulk, Iron Man, and Mysterio taking on the Zodiac Killer. Yep, it's pretty sick. I actually started Zodiac one night, and then my family came over. My sisters and brothers-in-law came over for a game night, and so it transitioned into a card game night. So, but I'll watch it someday. Oh yeah, if you like All the President's Men, you will probably love Zodiac. Fincher's top 3 modern directors. Okay, guys, you are seriously, I need to watch Zodiac, maybe even this week. All the President's Men is awesome. I like the suspense in the beginning, great acting and story, absolutely. I go 7 Zodiac and Social Network. I'm not a big fan of 7. It's just way too disturbing for me. Sorry, I'm reading fast, guys, so I can get all your comments, but also not make this too long. What's a highly regarded director you struggle to like? Stanley Kubrick and Quentin Tarantino, for sure. Quentin Tarantino, the only movie I'd say I really like from him is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And even at that, it's like I'd put it in my great tier. I wouldn't even put it in 9 3/4 or perfect. I'm just not a fan of excessive violence, and that's every Tarantino movie. So, yeah, that's it. And then Kubrick, I just think he's really overrated in some aspects, but some of his movies I do love. Like Paths of Glory is great. What is it called? The Killing, the bank robbery, the money heist movie. That's great. So is The Shining, but I wasn't a big fan of 2001, which I know I need to rewatch. And I started Clockwork Orange, and I was like, no, I cannot watch this movie. Nate, you're breaking my heart. Okay, Padme. Okay, stop what you're doing and watch Zodiac right now. It's phenomenal. Okay, yeah, see you guys. No, just kidding. I wish. When are you going to read Play Dogs? Oh, awkward actor. Is this Michelle? Is that Michelle? I didn't even think about that. Michelle, if that's you, I know who you are now. I just don't know you by the name Awkward Actor. If it's not Michelle, then I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I have Plague Dogs on my read list. The thing is, I'm rereading all the Harry Potter books, and that's been a huge, commitment. And so after Harry Potter books and then maybe 1 or other 2 books, I really want to get to Plague Dogs. Just watch The Old Man with the Gun starring Robert Redford. It was really good. I did see that. I watched it, or I don't know if you meant to say you just watched it, but either way, I actually watched it on a plane ride, and I liked it. Jason Robards was the supporting role in All the Presidents. Oh, yes. I think he won the Oscar for it. Yeah, he was a good actor, but I'm not sure that it was like an Oscar-winning performance, but it was good. I thought that both Redford and Hoffman did better. Okay, guys, I'm just going to... All right. That does it for comments. Keep commenting if you want. Jabberwocky, really quickly. Jabberwocky was the Terry Gilliam movie I think you were talking about. Gilliam, I can't remember. But that was on my list of movies to watch for the 70s challenge. And unfortunately, it didn't end up making the cut. There were a lot of movies that I didn't say this, but I had a list of recommendations. And at one point there were there were 35 movies to watch instead of 25. And I was like, oh my gosh, it doesn't mean I'm never going to watch them, but it's just, they weren't as high priority for me. So I'm going to stop sharing and we're going to do the moment of truth right here. Okay. So let me share my screen. What I have done is I have set up a wheel to show me, to randomly pick what my next challenge is. Now, this wheel has the five different categories that I would be interested in pursuing for this 25 movie challenge. I'll let you guys get a good look at it. Leave your comments on what you think. Oh, really quickly. Thanks, Michelle. Okay, thanks for clarifying. Get a good look at it. So I'll just go down the list. Female directors. Now, as a reminder, these are categories that I am not very well acquainted with and I want to get into more. Female directors. I just feel like I need to see more movies from directors that are women. Doesn't get much more simple than that. So that's the first one. Documentaries. Same exact thing. I haven't seen a lot of documentaries. I'm going to say right now, if documentaries wins, I'll be excited, but at the same time, don't expect an update video in the next 3 months because I feel like a challenge for documentaries will take way longer just because they're a little harder to sit through for me. Animation. Now, you guys are probably thinking, animation, what are you talking about? You've seen so many animated films. Why are you doing animation? I'm more talking about I'm more talking about movies that are more unappreciated or obscure or underrated. Movies such as The Plague Dogs, which I won't watch until I've seen the movie or until I've read the book. Also, like DreamWorks movies that I've never had a chance to watch, or movies like anime films that I know I need to watch, but I've never watched. It'd be focusing on movies that like I know I need to watch. Really quickly, Nick actually just texted me on the live stream and he said, "So you don't like Inglourious Basterds?" I totally just blanked on Inglourious Basterds. That is actually my favorite Tarantino film, and I would put that in either top of great or 9 3/4. So sorry, that's actually my favorite. Once Upon a Time is my second favorite. So I guess I like two of his movies. Two. All right, and then we have 5 directors, 5 movies. This is exactly what it sounds like. I choose 5 directors, and then with those directors, each of those directors, I watch 5 movies from them. And then exact same thing with actors, 5 movies. I choose 5 actors to watch more filmography from, and then I do 5 movies from each of them. So the moment of truth, we're going to spin it and see what we get, okay? Is everyone ready? Is everyone ready? All right, let's do this. Spin. 5 actors, 5 movies. Okay, cool. Nice. All right. So 5 actors, 5 movies wins. So, okay. I did some preparation for tonight. I had backup plans. So if female directors won, I would have shown you some movies I want to watch. If documentaries won, I would have shown you some movies I want to watch. But with 5 actors, 5 movies, I made a list of actors I would like to explore. And I want to go over that list now with you guys. So I will leave this on the screen so you guys can see it. The actors I want to focus on. I'm so excited about this because, well, to be fair, I was excited about any of these winning because I just had cool plans with all of them. But yeah, I'm just really excited about this. 5 actors, 5 movies. As of right now, I have a few for sure ones, and then I have some that I'm not decided yet. So the 3 that I know for sure, Humphrey Bogart. If you're not aware of who that is, he's the star of Casablanca. He's also in a few Criterion movies that I'd love to watch. I'm going to write this in the chat, and then I'm going to highlight my comment. Humphrey Bogart. Some movies that I am aching to see from him that hopefully I'll watch for this challenge. Let me just get to his filmography. Okay, The Maltese Falcon, Treasure of the Sierra Madre, In a Lonely Place, possibly The African Queen, maybe The Big Sleep. But Maltese Falcon and Treasure of the Sierra Madre are for sure movies that I really want to watch. So excited about that. My next actor that I will be focusing on is, put this in the chat, Ingrid Bergman. Ingrid Bergman is someone that I have been just liking more and more with each movie I watch. In fact, in the 70s 25 movie challenge, I watched her in Autumn Sonata, and she gave the best performance I've seen from her. With Ingrid Bergman, a few movies that I will be checking out with her in it. Sorry, I'm pulling up each filmography now so I can give you an idea of what I'm thinking about. But Gaslight is one I'm looking at. And then she's in a series that's on the Criterion Collection, Journey to Italy and Stromboli. She's in those movies. I think it's a trilogy, I want to say. But I want to watch those movies in the Criterion Collection that have her in it. So that will definitely be happening. And the third actor that I know is a must for me is Sidney Poitier. Now, I've only seen one Sidney Poitier film, and it was In the Heat of the Night. But there are so many more that I want to watch that I haven't been watching because it's the same reason of why these movies get added to the 25 movies challenge in the first place. They're on my watch list for years, and I just have no motivation to watch it. But putting it in a challenge, it's like, yes, let's watch it. So Sidney Poitier, let me tell you some movies that I will be definitely watching. For one, I know that he has some movies on the Criterion Collection that I want to check out. So let me just go to his filmography. Okay, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Planning on that one. A Raisin in the Sun. That's a Criterion movie I own and I've never seen. So I'm excited to watch that one. Lilies of the Field I might check out. After Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and Raisin in the Sun, it's any movie. Like any I don't really have anything planned after those 2 movies, but I know that I loved him in the Heat of the Night, and I want to see more of him. So I'm excited about that. Before I move on to my last 2 actors, I want to read some of your guys' comments. So Humphrey Bogart was revealed, and Mitchell says yes to the 5 actors, 5 movies. Nice. Glad that one won. Michael Cera. So it looks like you're going to try to watch some more Michael Cera. Maltese Falcon is so good. That's what I like to hear. Treasure and In a Lonely Place are both masterpieces. Yes, that's all I hear, but I just haven't gotten around to watching them. Ingrid Bergman, Nick says she's hot. She is very attractive. A actress. Yeah. So these are, when I say actors, it's a statement for performers. It really should say 5 performers, 5 movies. So yeah, it's actors and actresses. I don't want to exclude actresses because there are movies I want to see from them too. I've seen the Maltese Falcon, Sierra Madre, and the African Queen. All are great. Awesome. I love Ingrid Bergman. Me too. I'm so excited. Bogart is the god of classic Hollywood. I'm excited to see more of him. I've seen him in Sabrina. I've seen him in Casablanca. And I think that's it. There's probably one other movie I've seen him in that's not coming to my mind. Let me just look him up one more time to see what I've seen him in. Oh, yeah. No. Sabrina and Casablanca. Haley Steinfeld is a movie that you want to watch. Sidney Poitier is one of my favorite actors. Nice. It looks like I'm hitting gold with you, Michelle. I haven't seen Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Sidney Poitier. Yeah, I really want to watch it because I've heard good things about it, and I know it hits on a lot of racial themes. For Sidney Poitier, you need to check out the Defiant Ones. Jacob, write me on social media right now because I will forget that. So write me on social media. I'm still taking recommendations. Like for the 70s challenge, I took recommendations throughout the whole challenge. And so when I announce the 5 actors, please give me recommendations galore. Like you have only seen one Poitier film. I picked up The Organization and they call me Mr. Tibbs. Picked up The Organization and they call me Mr. Tibbs. Yeah. That's I think that's a sequel to In the Heat of the Night. To Sir with Love is a great Poitier film. Maisie, write me on social media, please. Have you seen Casablanca? Absolutely. Casablanca is amazing. I saw most of Raisin in the Sun in my English class, but didn't finish it because I had to write an essay. Oh, I'm sorry. I have the Criterion, so hopefully you'd watch that. I need to watch some Tim Robbins films. 1, Jacob's Ladder. 2, The Player. All right, so he's listing off. That's a good actor to choose. Bogart, John Wayne, Gary Cooper, Joan Crawford, Betty Davis, James Stewart would be first actor I'd pick. I love that. Okay, some people might think I would choose James Stewart because he's my favorite actor and I still need to see so many of his movies, but that's an actor I know I'm going to watch. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm going to get to him eventually, and so I don't want to challenge myself because that's not a challenge. This is like, I want to watch movies that I wouldn't immediately go to. So, before I announce the next one, let's go through a few more answers. The reason I'm kind of, I want to go through a few more answers is because these next 2 actors aren't set in place yet. In a Lonely Place is top tier. Yes. Non-gender performing words. Yeah. Performers. In a Lonely Place is incredible. The Big Sleep is another must-see. Okay, I might go with The Big Sleep. I've heard good things. Katharine Hepburn was so good in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Yeah, I'd love to see her in another movie because I've only seen her in, I think, 2 movies. 3 movies, maybe? 3 movies. Wait. Philadelphia Story, Bringing Up Baby, Woman of the Year. I think 3 movies. Okay. So, definitely have to see the Defiant Ones. Julie Andrews and Clint Eastwood are actors I'm currently diving into. I like that. I think I'll get a Raisin in the Sun for the July Criterion sale and finally finish it. That's a good idea. Actors from the 2000s. I like that. Divine. Okay, going with Divine. All right, so I'm going to announce my next actor. Sorry, I'm having such a hard time. I have 2 silent film actors listed. Harold Lloyd and Buster Keaton. But I'm only choosing one of them. I'm going to choose Harold Lloyd because Harold Lloyd has more movies that I want to see that I've been prolonging to watch. And so I'm going to go with Harold Lloyd, whereas Buster Keaton only has like a film or 2 that I know I need to watch. Harold Lloyd has, I think it's called Speedy and Safety Last. And believe it or not, guys, I have never seen a Harold Lloyd film. And that's the purpose of doing these kind of challenges. So I'll be able to finally watch movies from him. So we have Safety Last, which I'll be watching for sure. We have The Freshman, which I'll most likely watch. The Kid Brother, which might be a contender. Speedy. And then after that, it really just comes as recommendations from you guys. Oh, Bernie. I knew Bernie would be excited by that one. Dude, Buster Keaton and Harold Lloyd. So I'm only doing Harry Lloyd. Buster Keaton, I'll get to his movies eventually, but there's only like 1 or 2 movies from him that I want to see, so I don't know that I want to commit to 5 right now. Whereas Harold Lloyd, I'm like, yes, let's do it. 2 silent film gods, nice. Highly recommend The Kid Brother, Speedy, The Freshman. Yes, okay, cool. All those are on my radar. Still write that to me on social media. James, I have seen Harvey. It is a classic, and I want to rewatch it this summer because I loved it. James, if you haven't watched my James Stewart ranking, watch that video because I talk about Harvey in that video. If you have seen it and you commented and I even responded, I'm sorry. But I'm glad you brought that up because it's a great movie. Everyone watch Harvey. Another quick story about a movie I saw most of but never finished. My dad showed me Red River when I was a little kid, but I never finished it and I never did. I've seen that movie and I don't remember a thing from it. I remember not liking it though. It's so sad, but yeah, I remember not liking it. Okay. Here's my predicament. The final actor I have is an actor that I want to say, but I'm not sure if it's an actress it's an actress, so I'll say that, but I'm not sure if I should do it in the challenge because it's like, I kind of feel like I'm going to watch more of that actress anyways. So it's like, do I challenge myself in watching more movies from her, or do I choose an actress or an actor that actually is, going to push me? How about this? I'm looking at the movies I haven't seen from her right now. Screw it. I'm doing it. The final one is Audrey Hepburn. I am going with Audrey Hepburn for my final actor. And if anything changes, I will announce it and give you guys plenty of time to know that it's changed. But Audrey Hepburn is slowly becoming, honestly, my favorite actress of all time. I love Audrey Hepburn, and I get the hype behind her. And with this challenge, I'd be able to see movies that I've never seen before, such as Breakfast at Tiffany's. Oddly enough, I mentioned that earlier on in the stream, but Breakfast at Tiffany's could be knocked off. I've seen more of her recent films, like more of her popular films, such as Roman Holiday, and I've seen her in Sabrina, and there's one called like Love in the Afternoon by Billy Wilder. So I've seen her in a few movies, but I want to see her in more. So if I did this challenge, it would be Breakfast at Tiffany's, probably Funny Face, The Children's Hour, and after that, maybe The Nun's Story. I know she was nominated for an Oscar for that, but it would really just depend. So Audrey Hepburn is my tentative 5th choice. If I don't do Audrey Hepburn, I will announce that to all of you to let you know who I do choose. But the other 4 I mentioned, I feel great about, and those were the ones I will be doing. Think I might do 25 silent films I haven't seen yet. It depends on how busy I am, but I think I might do it. Nice, Bernie. I'd love to hear that. Michelle is excited about me doing Audrey Hepburn. Jacob, of course. Audrey Hepburn is top tier. Oh, Emiliano, Charade. The only reason I didn't mention that is because I've seen Charade, and I love it. Charade is amazing. Yep, there it is. I have seen Charade. That's why I didn't mention it. I forgot to mention that's my bad. Totally forgot to mention it, but I love Charade. In fact, is that my favorite movie? I've seen Charade and My Fair Lady. Wow, I've seen a lot of Audrey Hepburn. I didn't even realize it. So Audrey Hepburn isn't for sure yet because the only one that's screaming her right now is Breakfast at Tiffany's, and there might be another actor out there that could replace her. So the 4 actors I listed already are for sure's, but Audrey Hepburn is a maybe. I have a bunch of Audrey Hepburn movies I have to watch. I haven't seen any of her films yet. All right. Yeah, James, if you're looking for recommendations, I would recommend Charade, and Sabrina was pretty good. It's a cute movie. My Fair Lady is good because it's a Best Picture winner, but it's really long, so just be prepared for that. But guys, I'm going to wrap this stream up. The 25 movie challenge complete for the 1970s. I had a blast doing it. I don't know what the time frame will be for this next go around with movies, but I am super excited for what I have. It's cool to hear Jacob convinced to do 25 silent movies after he finishes the comedies. Might commit to that project in 2022. I love that. I love that so much. I might do silent movies someday. Is My Fair Lady any good? Planning to get it on 4K this Tuesday. I love the song Loverly, and it has some good songs, but I haven't seen it in a long time. I'm rewatching it for that rewatch series I'm talking about. Kevin Bacon, Michael J. Fox, Cary Grant, Charlton Heston, Shira Mafune, Peter Sellers, some quick recommendations. Okay, I appreciate that. I almost wonder if I should get you guys to suggest the last actor / actress. I'm still toying with that idea, but I'll announce it on social media. So if you're not following me on social media, please follow me at cinema_Nate. You can follow me there, and I interact with you guys a lot. So make sure to follow me there. Funny Face is my favorite Audrey Hepburn movie. Okay, see, that's a good argument for me to stick with Audrey Hepburn because then I could watch it. Okay, then we got a few more comments about musicals. But I'm going to call it a night because I really need to eat something. I'm starving right now, and I need a drink of water. But thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I'm so excited about this 5 actors, 5 movies challenge. If you are watching the stream recorded, thank you for joining, and thank you for sticking around and watching the stream live if you watched it live. All right, well, hope you guys all have a great night, and keep doing the 25 movie challenge and keep updating me. Bernie, I will watch your video soon, and I'm excited to watch everyone else's videos. All right, have a great night. Bye.